What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about why Dutch parents raise the happiest kids in the world. So, here in the United States, we definitely like to think that we do everything the best and that we have everything figured out, But according to this video, it's actually the Dutch that might understand how to raise their kids the best, that's a big deal. As an American and as a new parent, I'm actually very, very curious to check out this video by DW Euromax and maybe learn about what the secret is to having really happy kids. So let's take a look.
Hey!
Luna and Flynn are among the happiest children in the world. That's right, kids in the Netherlands rank first in happiness, according to a UNICEF study from 2025. So what are parents here doing right?
Yeah, happiness is that's kind of a hard thing to measure. Like, what is it about the Netherlands specifically where you have such happy kids? What are you guys doing there? And it's like, do you measure happiness in like laughter or like how much the kids love their parents, or I don't know how they even determine all this, but I'm very interested.
We really try to let them be kids first, and then along the way try to see where they end up.
Let them be kids first. That's an interesting statement. That's very broad, but I will say that here in the US, we definitely, when you're a kid, there's a lot of expectation put on you. And growing up in the US, we're definitely taught, like, you have to be the best, you have to be the smartest or the strongest, or you have to beat everyone else. And yeah, so there's a lot of pressure and a lot of, like, that kind of mentality that we're taught. And I don't know. I think that's maybe what he is getting at. Like, we need to chill out a little bit and just like let kids be children, like be silly and fun and not put so much constraints on them, I guess. Okay, that would make sense to me.
This is a lot different than the US where I grew up. American kids tend to have a lot more structured learning, even in their earlier years of preschool.
Sure.
Let's take a look at why kids in the Netherlands are happier than kids in the US, and why, according to that UNICEF study, they are healthier and seem to have more practical life skills than American kids.
Wow. I mean, you guys are definitely doing something special in the Netherlands, like, because yeah, here in the US, we think of structure like as a good thing, having your kids and your child has to start like baby science camp when they're like 1, or everyone's trying to get their kid ahead of the other and it's like a contest. And yeah, I think this is actually really good for Americans to like think about this stuff, because maybe we're doing some things wrong here. Definitely possible.
It's 7:30 Friday morning just outside Amsterdam. 3-year-old Luna, mother Marlot, 1-year-old Flynn, and father Felix start their day with breakfast together.
Okay.
For Marlot and Felix, like many Dutch parents, sharing the morning is a crucial daily ritual.
Oh. Okay.
For us, it's important that we spend enough time together. We have breakfast, we bring them to daycare. I go to work, and then maybe sometimes I have plans in the evening as well. And I only see them in the morning, that 1 hour, 1.5.
Yeah.
For me, it's important that we spend it together.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think a lot of parents can relate to that. Certainly here in the US, like a lot of parents, like, you only get a small amount of time with your kid. Like, in the morning, then you take them to daycare so you can go to work, and then you pick them up, like, at 5 or 6 or whatever, and you get a little more time in the evening, and you're really sort of waiting for the weekend to spend a lot of time with your kids, and it's kind of sad because maybe we don't sort of treasure or emphasize, like I saw there in the morning, they're at a table, like eating breakfast, like all together as a family at a table, making this a special time. And I think here in the US, a lot of families don't even really do this kind of thing. Like, you're just giving your kid like a processed cereal bar or like a Pop Tart or something, and they're like eating it in the car, and you're driving, and it's a big rush. And I like how it looks like in the Netherlands, you guys like try to make the morning last. It's like a family moment, and you're actually at a table together eating, and I like that a lot.
And then maybe sometimes I have plans in the evening as well, and I only see them in the morning, that 1 hour, 1.5.
Sure.
For me, it's important that we spend it together.
Yeah, yeah.
Time now to get ready for daycare.
Even in the small things, putting your coat on or putting your clothes on, eating, we always try to promote that children are doing it themselves.
In the Netherlands, even children under the age of 3 typically attend daycare.
Wow! What is this thing? What's this thing? It's like a baby bike carriage. You don't see this kind of thing in the United States. So, for one thing, they're bicycling to daycare? That's funny. That's cool. Yeah, here in the US, everybody is getting the kids in the car. And that's maybe where everyone eats some of the food. And this is really cool. It's like a little child car on a bike thing. That's cool. Okay. I like how they're saying they emphasize letting the kids do things. Like even small children. It looks like his son could be like 1 or less, like he's pretty newborn baby, and his daughter could be like 1 or 2 years old, and he's talking about like letting them make breakfast and put on their shoe, like do things. Whereas here in the US, I think a lot of people are kind of impatient and don't, especially at a young age, don't let their kids do a lot of stuff, even though, like, yeah, even at this age, kids are smart. They will surprise you. So I like that. Yeah.
In fact, nearly 80% of them do. That's double the EU average.
Oh, wow.
But still, daycare is expensive to say the least.
Daycare is expensive.
Families do receive support from the state, but costs are a burden nonetheless.
Huh. Daycare is so expensive here in the US. It's crazy. Makes me feel a little better that it's kind of the same in other countries too.
Luna and Flynn attend daycare 3 days a week.
Oh, 3 days a week.
It's all privately owned, so none of the daycares that I know of are public. These are often increasingly owned by private equity firms, so they're in it for a profit, which is okay, but...
Cool daycare, by the way. Like with even this like wooden boat thing, and this is a very nice daycare.
It does, jack up the price a little bit compared to maybe
though.
public versions in other countries. So many people are not too happy with this model.
Even so, receiving any state support at all for childcare costs would be a dream for many American families. In the US, childcare can cost as much or more than college tuition, and funding isn't always accessible.
Absolutely. Like, a lot of people have to try to rely on their grandma and grandpa, or like, it's difficult to pay for daycare and stuff. And yeah, the government here certainly doesn't help with that or anything. I didn't know I didn't know that was a thing.
In fact, on average, an American family has to spend almost a quarter of their income on childcare. In the Netherlands, parents are entitled to maternity and paternity leave. And they can take that parental leave until the child turns 8. Like many Dutch fathers, Felix doesn't take his leave all at once.
Wait, what? Okay. Okay, for one thing, the dad gets to take off work too? Really? That is not a thing here in the US. The benefits in the US are very limited because there's very little government oversight on our companies and employers. And a lot of time, women can get like 3 months about off when they're having a baby, which is nothing. Like, and then you have a 3-month-old, which is like, it needs a lot of full-time attention, but you're like bringing your 3-month-old to daycare, and it's pretty sad, honestly. A lot of Americans, we just kind of think of it as normal. But like, what do you mean you can take leave till the kid is 8? What does that mean?
It's 8. Like many Dutch fathers, Felix doesn't take his leave all at once. Instead, he takes a weekly Papa Day to focus on the kids and himself too.
Wait, what? What? You can sounds like you have a ton of leave, even the dad. And you can like just spread it out so you get to leave work 1 day a week and be with the kids? What? No wonder the kids are happier, and I'm sure the parents are happier in the Netherlands than in the US. We don't have anything like that. That's unheard of. That's amazing.
If I feel well, if I feel fit, then it should reflect on my children as well, at least indirectly. So when you're inside all day and feeling grumpy, then it doesn't help the mood of my kids, of course.
That is such a great attitude. I try to like be healthy or like go to the gym, but a lot of American parents are like, America is known for we're very unhealthy. Like 50% of us are obese. Like, we don't think of health as being a better parent. But when you think about it, of course that makes a difference. Like, whether it's physically being able to play with your kids more or keep up with them or having energy and then being happy or mentally healthy, or of course it matters. That's a great point.
So I try to be out and have a good mood.
I was personally much happier inside with a book as a kid, but for Dutch parents, being outdoors in nature is simply part of raising children.
Oh.
And Marlet and Felix are no exception.
A lot of American parents, like, we try to get the kid out to a playground, or especially when they're like 2 or 3 or more years old. A lot of American parents like do this kind of thing. I don't know if we do it as much as Dutch parents, probably not as much, but a lot of kids here do like just watch TV, or you're starting to see a lot of children in the US at like when you're at a restaurant, you see them with like an iPad or a phone, like really distracted. Like, that's kind of a new thing, right? Like technology and children, and it's kind of sad in a way.
They take their children outside as often as possible, no matter the weather.
Oh, okay. That's a totally different. Like, going outside is not like a priority in American culture for kids. No, that's not like, so you guys are going out as much as you can, and regardless of the weather. That is a whole nother level. Is going outside very important for happy children? Like, of course kids enjoy being outside, but they also enjoy climbing on stuff inside or playing with balls inside. And is there something about like actually being outside physically that like increases happiness. I guess humans are like made to be out in the sun and nature, and so I guess that does make sense.
If you go to a Dutch playground, quite often you'll see parents letting their children play independently.
Huh. Oh. Here in the US we are very protect. I saw a video of like a German playground, and you like I know in Europe the playgrounds can be different, like more dangerous. Like you actually let kids play on their own and get hurt a little bit, or not in a bad way, so they can learn. And like in America, we're very protective of kids, and if you let your kid get hurt or go on the playground alone, like you could almost get in trouble. Like, and a lot of people would judge you, like say you're being neglectful. But it really just seems like you're letting your kid be independent and learn. I think that's the European and certainly the Dutch mentality. Whereas here in the US, it's almost seen as a bad thing. It's kind of backwards.
Normally we also motivate, especially Luna of course, because she's a bit older, to play for herself today. Today it's a bit unfortunate that there are not too many other kids, but normally we encounter so many other kids here, all from daycare. They all know each other. We can sit at the terrace, have a drink, and Luna can entertain herself. Yeah.
I'm from suburban Ohio, where you absolutely need a car to get around, and it's like that in most of the U.S.
Yeah.
That's why many Americans get their driver's license as soon as they can.
Yes.
But things are different in the Netherlands. Here, even the youngest kids are totally comfortable with a different mode of transportation, the bicycle.
Oh.
For 36% of the Dutch population, the bicycle is king, and the primary mode of transport.
Oh. I didn't know that. Your Dutch culture is like really, you love bikes. You use bikes. Bicycles are like kind of niche here in the US. Like some people do it as a hobby. You typically learn to ride a bike as a kid, but not till you're like 8 or 10. It looked like there was like a 3 or 4-year-old on a bike here.
And because parents want their children to be independent early on, the kids learn to ride from a very young age.
Oh. So you want them to be able to ride a bike so they can do things? Like go play, like independently? Ride their bike without... Wow. This just makes me think here in the US, we are very overprotective of kids. And that is the expectation here. Whereas, seeing this, it makes a lot of sense to me, like that it would be very healthy for a child to do things on their own and gain a lot of confidence, right?
I think apart from the logistical reasons, it's also, I think, a sign of independence and also
Sure.
trust that we're giving her, that she can do it herself. Obviously, she still uses the exercise wheels, but I'm guessing with her speed, we can quickly take them off. It's a no-brainer that you get a bike on your 3rd birthday. Yeah, so...
What? 3? Kids are riding bikes when they're 3? That's impressive.
Very typical Dutch.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, in the US, we need to let our kids do more. We need to, you don't see 3-year-olds riding a bike too much here.
For many Dutch parents, family ties are indispensable. Luna and Flynn's grandparents come by regularly to babysit.
Sure.
But it's more than just support with childcare.
It's very important for us to have our parents close to us raising our children.
Sure.
I think it's so much fun for them. It's so nice for us to see them more often, see them weekly, spend time with them.
Sure.
I'd say here in the US, it is common for parents to get the grandparents involved or something like this. I guess it just kind of depends on if you like your parents or not.
The Netherlands is small, so it's more likely that grandparents live nearby. But a lot of my friends with kids in the US live in totally different states from their parents.
That's true.
So they can't just drop off their kids with grandma and grandpa.
That's true. That's true. It's not like expected that you're like I didn't really know my grandparents at all. I would see them like once a year when I was a kid. So it totally varies here. Yeah, you might live like 10 hours away.
So it's independence, social interaction, and being outdoors with plenty of playtime that are cornerstones of parenting in the Netherlands.
Wow. Well, it seems to me like these are all things that we do a lot of this here in the US. We just do it a very little bit. And I mean, some of these things we actively constrain, like independence and letting kids do more things on their own. That we could do a lot better at. Yeah, we kind of do the opposite of that. Yeah. But some of these things we kind of do, just not as much as we should.
In many, many other places, children are raised much more strict.
Yes.
And with a very clear, well, career path almost.
Yeah.
Sure.
We are active, like we like to go outside and show them the world, also traveling, but it's not because they need to be the best, especially when they're young, they need to be kids.
The Netherlands is not necessarily paradise on earth. Like any other country, it has its problems. But having happy kids is a good start to a happy society.
Oh my God. Being number one in happy kids is such an accomplishment. Like that's amazing. That's a great thing to be known for. So a lot of respect to the Dutch, and having happy kids probably, creates a happy society. That's the future, the kids. And this was really cool. There's a lot of really good things here that aren't even that difficult to do that we could really implement here in the US. And you just got to be open to like having a different mindset about what is healthy and good for kids. And a lot of this made a lot of sense to me. So this was really cool. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on how Dutch parents raise their kids and, compared to here in the US, where it's a lot more constrained, really. And if you're interested in more videos like this, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.